Hello, my dear friends, and welcome back, or should I say welcome to, Vintage Story. Now, Vintage Story is a single or multiplayer survival experience that takes a lot of inspiration from Eldritch themes. You are an explorer of sorts that is experiencing a world that contains evidence of past and current civilizations that are ravaged by some sort of apocalypse. Now, the apocalypse in question is a eldritch apocalypse, something beyond our comprehension and understanding. You must forgive me here in this intro, as my cat is begging for attention. He is so attention deprived. He is so attention deprived. But you see here, I have created our character, given us some shaggy curly hair and a big beard, and we are going to confirm that. And contained within the character creation are, you pick a class, right? Your commoner class gives you no positive or negative traits, which this is what we're going to be playing as. But later, as we start to understand the mechanics more, we can choose to play as something else, such as a blackguard who focuses on melee combat, or a hunter, for example, that focuses on range combat. They also have access to exclusive craftables, which I think is cool. Very interesting. So we'll see how it goes. At first, though, we're going to play as commoner, just to get our feet wet. And here we are. Sorry, I had to give him some love, or else he's never going to leave me alone, which is alright. Alright. So, I have probably 30 minutes of playtime in this, and most of that was just seeing what the heck this game was about. I've watched videos sparsely on this. I've watched nothing lore related. I know nothing of it outside of what the store page has told me, and some of the stuff I figured out. So we're going to start by making an axe head. Napping in this is really interesting because you have to manually cut out the design. And speaking of design, the sound design in this game is horrifying. Fun fact about grasslands. Grasslands are terrifying. And the reason grasslands are so terrifying is they're normally described, or they're meant to be peaceful, right? Grasslands are seen as peaceful. Hold on. Alright, so while we're napping here, I'm going to tell you something cool I learned about grasslands. So, grasslands are normally, they're shown as peaceful biomes, right? But what the heck is that? You know what? That looks like absolutely none of our business. We're going to move along here and find more flint. Hold on, let me hold down K to get this menu closed. Perfect. We're gonna get to high ground because I feel safer if I can see around me, even though I can't totally see. I have no idea what this distortion is over here, but I mean, we have to go look at it, right? I see the trader over here. Apparently, every time you spawn, there is a trader. But back to what I was talking about, the grasslands. Grasslands are horrifying. And the reason why they're horrifying is because instead of actually being peaceful, the grass is always displayed as being tame, right? Well, apparently the grass itself is not tame whatsoever. It gets up to 10 foot high in some areas, which is to be expected. But on top of that, it is silent. It allows predators like big cats to move silently throughout it. that's terrifying. The idea of getting lost within a grassland has been added to my fears. And I never thought I'd say I was scared of grasslands, but I am. So here you see me napping out tools. I have 2 axe heads, a knife blade, and a spearhead. And before we go tempt fate and mess around with this distortion in the space-time continuum, we're going to go down. These are, okay, loose flint there, granite stones. So you use the flint to nap. You nap the flint in order to get tool heads, but there's all sorts of stuff around, different minerals, different rocks. We're gonna pick up all the flint we can. And as far as I got in the last part that you did not see, I had made us baskets. I had spent some time collecting cattail reeds to do that. We were trying to start a fire. I didn't realize that you have to create firewood, so I had some trouble, and I just ended up exiting out and filming something else. Can't remember what it was, but it's been a while. Here you see there are maple leaves, and then there are branchy maple leaves, which is very cool. This allows us to, with there being regular leaves and then the branchy leaves, it really makes us focus and hone in on what we're doing. We're going to go to high ground once more. Oh, character stats. Very cool. Look at that. Project Observer, the commoner. We're going to craft quickly. So we're going to create a flint spear, as well as a flint knife, and then 2 axes. 1 axe will be for defense, the other axe will be, would just be to cut trees, utility, etc. And with this, we are going to go cut a tree down. I don't know exactly how this works, but we're gonna go for it here. Felling a tree is not as difficult as it was for me in the last part. And in order to create firewood, we take the logs and the axe and put them together, I think. Yes, there we go. Alright, so much like many moons ago when Minecraft first came out and I watched Nanders play it, fun fact, I still build houses in that temple style. That peaked roof temple style that he used to because of his videos. Learning the crafting recipes is going to take some time, but I've purposely tried not to spoil anything for myself, because for me that's no fun. I kind of wanted to see. Okay, caves seem. Oh my God. Okay, Jesus God. I thought we were a goner. We really need to mind our footing. Instead of going underground, I think what we're going to do is try to find, like this would be a nice little dugout. I think we're gonna dig in here into the side of this hill and call that our shelter for the time being. We need to be around water. Animals in the wild always, well, not only do they die near water, but they go towards water at different times of the day. So we're going to use that to our advantage here. We're going to make a shovel head. So what do we need? We're in survival mode. We need food, water, and shelter. Water here, I'm assuming we don't have to purify it. I could be wrong though. It looks like we're in some type of low marshland at the base of this hill. I see water coming out of here too. This all feels so new and real, even though it looks semi-familiar. Oh, and another thing about the grasslands, the wind in the grass not only softens the footsteps, but it's deafening loud. That's another reason you can't hear. Then we're going to go harvest some of these reeds. Right? Shovel, stick, makes a shovel. And then reeds, which we'll find over here, are cattails. Harvest those to make baskets. Baskets increase our inventory by 4 spaces. Now, I could be mistaken, but I believe it's 4 spaces. And we are swimming. It feels very good, surprisingly. Hopefully this fish is not a piranha. That would be right on par with our luck. Man, I'm coming off of Project Zomboid Part 4, which, if you haven't seen it, I'm not going to spoil it, but I would love it if things would go our way in this one. That would make me a very happy man. Alright, so we've got 11 reeds. Are there more that I'm not seeing? I don't think so. Over here, we see some cranberries, or currants. We're going to take those. We're going to take those, and we're going to eat those. What is this? Heather. Wow, look at this. My God, that's beautiful. On top of the world. On top of the world, surely. Ah, this is a little dugout. Now, it's going to be more difficult for us to find, but it is. It is. I'm sitting high. Perhaps we use that to our advantage. I don't know. We did create a shovel specifically to dig into this hill. Not saying we have to do that, but who knows? Let us go see what we can see. Yes, of course, the drop below, 40 feet below to our death, our doom. Ah, there's more reeds down here. We'll go harvest those. What are you? Tool. Presumably we can use tool lifts, dry grass. I don't know if it has another function. Oh my God, okay. It's a little punchy. It still feels good though. Everything feels really good. The movement feels good. This is very cool. Now, is it like Minecraft where we can take... Okay, yes. Very cool. It's very important... It's very important to us moving forward to know whether or not we can use water elevators. It's murky water. I don't know. I'm thinking we stick... This is shaded. I don't think I have to worry about sunburn. I've been playing so many different things. I am all over the place. What are you? Those are chickens. Alright. So I'm going to stop wasting everybody's time here. We're going to move back over here to where all this dwarf fuse is, I think. Yeah, and we're going to just start rocking it. As well as crafting baskets. We're going to do this real quick. Now, what is wrong with this? Okay, nothing is wrong with it. Perfect. And you'll see here I have 3 inventory now. Ah, this is rock. That's no good. Alright, we might have to dig a... I was really hoping to not have to dig a... dig into the earth itself. I don't want to, like, dig this out I really want it to blend in. What's back there? Rock. No, that's not good for us. Maybe we can work around it. Perhaps not. You see, where in some places there's 2 blocks worth of dirt. I think we're gonna have to dig something out a little more grounded. Oh my God, what are you? In recent memory, I was camping and I heard a stork let loose a bellow, and the sound of that still sticks with me. I still think about that often. That was one of the most horrifying sounds I think I've ever heard. In nature, right next to a cougar. So I'm sure a lot of people like to build with wood. You know, I'm going to build with dirt. We're going to do this the Hobbit route until I figure out what I'm doing. And as of now, I don't know what I'm doing. This is going to blend in, and that's really not something we want. But I have no idea what the crafting mechanics are. I don't know if there's, if there are crafting benches that we're going to have to build in order to further our cause here, or what. Or if everything is crafted by hand, judging by the napping system, and I know that a mold system exists. Like for pouring hot metal. I guess I did spoil something for myself. Just that, though. Ooh, look at these carrots. Oh my God. We're gonna be like Farmer John in here. This is very good. This is very good news. Alright, so we're gonna take this out. Like so. Just like this. Setting these blocks. Jutting out from the main area here. We're going to close this in. This is going to be where our campfire sits. So most forest creatures are not fans of fire. So hopefully, if there are, which I know there's got to be some nefarious creatures out there, and we're going to keep them away from us by burning our campfire in front of where we sleep. I don't know how we're going to sleep. I have not a clue. Not a single clue. But what I do know is we need to start a fire in order for any of this to work as intended. In order to do that, we need dry leaves or dry grass. We need to sit that down like so. Right? And then we take this firewood and put it on top of it, and then we have to create a fire starter. So we're going to need more wood in order to do that. Alright, so when we're looking at the front of our base, this is our, that monument there. We're going to call it the monolith. We're moving towards the monolith. If we find the monolith, we can find our home. And then this pass over here, Twin Peak Pass over there. So looks like the sun is going down. Looks like evening is coming. The clouds are oh my God. Okay, I really need to pay attention to where we're moving. Oh my God. Oh, is that a... Yes. Ridiculous. Come here, I'm not done with you. Come on. I can't see you now. Alright, so he's fleeing. Alright, so that's why we don't go underground. I think I was trying to say something about that before I was rudely interrupted. We're also going to block this path off. I don't know how healing works. I don't know how... I don't have any clue, as a matter of fact, how healing works. Perhaps it's just food. Perhaps we eat to heal, like in Minecraft. And I don't want to keep comparing it to Minecraft, but I mean, look at this. You know, the comparison is obvious. This is a standalone thing. It is its own unique universe, and I want to give it that, you know, respect and such. But at the same time, it is a block-based survival crafting game. So there is going to be comparison there. I'm looking for the stump. Yeah, there we go. I was looking for trees, but we were a little bit SOL at this point in time for trees. Let's get to a vantage point here. Oh, a raccoon family. I'm gonna leave them be for the time being. We'll feast on berries tonight. And then, moving forward, we'll feast on meat and fat. Perhaps we can make pemmican? Yes, okay. God, the clouds are monoliths. The sun is going down. We need to retreat back home. Let's make one of these first. I think I know how to do it off the top of my head. I may be wrong, though. I also don't know if nighttime is dangerous. I think it'd be safe to assume it's dangerous. Alright, so the recipe is specific to... Oh my god. The recipe is specific to the part of the screen in which you put it on. I have to make the fire starter at the top there. All right. So we have our fire starter. We have our fire pit back home. We're going to light it and I guess wait out the night. I'm not totally sure what else to do. 9 days until our first temporal storm. Presumably, that is a rift or a shift in the... maybe the veil between our world and the next gets a little thinner. I wonder what this next world is, as a matter of fact. I wonder... I've seen... Like I said, I've done my best to not spoil anything, but sometimes that's difficult. I've seen things visually. Hello! And welcome back. For you, that was no time whatsoever. For me, this has been several hours. I had some errands to run, but that is not all I did. I decided to look and see how expansive Vintage Story really is. Vintage Story is extremely expansive. There is the ability to go from the Stone Age, which we are in right now. We are in the Stone Age, all the way up to, and past the Iron Age. We can create steel. That's the thing we can do. So there's bronze, the Bronze Age. There is the Iron Age. We can create steel with enough time on a long enough timeline, assuming we have the resources to do so. There is so much lore to this, and there are threats that we, in our little shelter over there, are just not ready for. So we're definitely going to get a little bit of pep in our step here, but I did a little bit of reading on some topics such as lighting and basic survival, just so I have a little gist of how things are going to go. I didn't totally expose myself to everything there is to offer. I didn't, do a deep dive on the lore or anything. It's just I had to look up some mechanics after seeing the scale of this game. So this is as described by the developers, a uncompromising survival game. This came out in 2016. I had no idea. Which is pretty incredible. All right. So we are exceptionally hungry here, but we do have this lit. I believe it's dry grass we use to make food. So we're going to try to harvest some of this and put it back together. Yeah, this came out the full version came out September 27th, 2016. Incredible. It's crazy that I'm just now figuring out about this. And this is so in-depth. I hate that I thought it was something else. That's unfortunate, but it's just the nature of the beast sometimes. You don't get to see everything. Oh, can we not refuel with that? Okay. Man. All right. Let's see if we can craft a bed. There's just so much. So much. So much we don't understand here. And I don't know all the recipes off the top of my head at all, as a matter of fact. All right. So oftentimes it seems like the recipe is doubled. But we have a hay bed, so that's all that matters. We're going to sit this. We're going to sit this here. Nice. All right, and we really, as much as I don't want to do this, we really need to go find some additional food to try to get us through tonight. It is pitch black, and look at those stars. My God. Wow, they've done something remarkable with the sky. Oh, I figured out too. This was initially a Minecraft mod before it was a standalone thing. So, all the comparisons were totally just. Totally just. Try to get a fish here. Got it. Okay, that's not what we wanted to do. Control, harvest. And we have taken some fish here. All right. Moving right along. Very good. So hopefully we can make it back in time before we starve to death. There's something those are called drifters. And so I started following an account called Drifter Hater Club. And I didn't quite understand it at first. Now I understand it. Because those things that we ran into are called drifters, and they suck. Apparently, they're the bane of many a people's existence. But still have no idea what they are, what they do. Know nothing about that. All right, and our first meal. Very good. So I'm a little confused here. Do we need more food? Is the contents of one fish not enough for us? I suppose we are to find out. Well, the only way to do so is by foraging and spearfishing, much like our ancestors did. So salmon is a fatty fish, and I don't think that makes a bit of difference here. Perhaps it'll give us more calories. I was kind of hoping to get some fat. We need a land-dwelling creature in order to do that. First, let us get some firewood. Once more. Oh, for God's sakes. We're just in the absolute worst place. Now, luckily for us, it seems like starvation takes a little bit of time, which it does. It's not putting us down immediately, but it doesn't make it any better. And an oak seed. All right, we're gonna drop this. We can't drop items. It's just like Minecraft. Get all this. Refuel this. And once more, start a fire. I learned that our player character is called a seraph, which I find interesting. It was very cool. Very cool. Alright, so what do we do in a survival scenario? Especially when we start out in the Stone Age. We have food and water. Water doesn't seem to be an issue whatsoever. Food is going to be an issue, it does seem. We're going to have to really nail down our hunting route today. I didn't mess around with the settings whatsoever, so this is the pure vanilla experience. Nice, cooked fish. Let us eat that. Alright, so fish gives us 1 block of nutrition. Oh god, there's a drifter. Oh, okay, so they have a range. Are you serious? Okay. Okay, so first death. Not a big deal. I have re-emerged at my returning point. Ah, yes, of course, my returning point. So here we see a significant amount. Ooh, okay. Field mushrooms. Those, I don't trust mushrooms. This is good though. Okay, there's a significant amount of mushrooms over here in this particular area. I see our tombstone is marked on the map, which is good. We'll go over there and pick that up. I'm assuming, and this is a bold assumption, that our gear will be with our corpse. So I suppose we could have stayed closer to our returning point, but this is a nice run over here. It is raining. It's been raining for 2 days, which if this were Zomboid, I would be over the moon excited, but it is not. It is not Zomboid. All right. These are conglomerates. So perhaps we'll pick this up and throw it at that drifter's head. Yeah, all of our things are just right there. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, now I understand why that individual is Drifter Hater Club. Because, my god. It's cool that we can throw rocks, though. Very cool that we can throw rocks. Let's put this soil back. We're gonna have to go get some chow here and put this cow parsley down on the ground. We're gonna go back to what we were doing, and that was spear hunting fish. And perhaps if we punch out here a little bit, we can find some land animals. There are all sorts of systems out here in the world, my friends. There are so very many. Ah, berries. Yes, very good. So berries have a chance to spawn in the world, right? At varying stages of growth. Oh, there's a rabbit. Yes, yes, yes. And call me Elmer Fudd because we're on the case. That looks like dinner. Oh, it shall be had. It shall be had. We've never won anything more in our lives. Come here. Where have you gone? Where have you gone, little rabbit? Just like that. Just like Elmer Fudd, we've been duped. We've been duped by a furry quadruped. Well, no worries. We shall persist. I don't know why the tombstone is still showing after we got our things back, but we did retrieve everything. Doesn't seem to be anything of value here. We're gonna go out. We're gonna climb up and get out of this little valley here. Hopefully that tomb. Well, there's our monolith. I do believe that's our monolith. If that stays, we'll know how to get back, which is important. It's cool that we have a fully functioning map, though. I am not going to complain, because that is a extremely helpful choice, with everything else being so primitive. It's very nice to have a map that works. All right, we were coming up. We were cresting a hill here. See all sorts of stuff. All sorts of stuff that can be mined that looks like possibly iron deposits or something. I'll try to stay close to the... Ah, yes, okay. Very cool. So, top of this mountain here, I was looking at this stuff. There's just all sorts of ores and minerals that seem to be present. Very cool. That is what caught my interest, though. That, my friends, is a set of ruins as well as trees. So perhaps we can make our way carefully down this hill here. Carefully being the key word. Oh, okay. Well, the fall did not injure us, but I don't suppose that all falls are safe. I suppose if we fall from a pretty good height, that will kill us. So back there, at this point in human history, humans lived nomadically. Humans didn't start settling down until they were able to preserve food long term, and agriculture became widespread. Agriculture itself requiring irrigation, and irrigation at a grand scale. This looks like a swamp almost, a marshland. Wow, look at this. Our first ruin. Very, very cool. Well, kind of want to get the lay of the land before I just start exploring and see how far back these ruins go. This is cobblestone, it looks like, so roundabouts medieval times, right? But the designs of these structures leads me to believe this. Oh, look, bony soil. So many bones. What is this? Cracked vessel. Oh. Nice. Oh my god, what did I get? What is this? Soybean seeds. Okay, very cool. We're going to So people at this, one thing at a time, right? People at this point in human history lived nomadically, right? Until agriculture was able to be sustained. So what we're going to do is collect a lot of this dry grass. The only thing over there on that side of town is a bed, which we can remake, no problem. And our fire pit, which we can also remake, no problem. I think we're going to use these structures because they're a little hardier than our mud shack. We're going to use these structures to create our starting base. I'll see you all shortly. I'm going to gather a bunch of stuff. Well, hello there. We have gathered a whole bunch of dried grass. There's also mushrooms growing near water here. Now, until we have a better understanding of the native flora and fauna, we're going to play scared. Play scared is the best way to... curious, but scared. We're going to be cautious, and we're not going to be eating random stuff off the ground. I say as I trust a... Who knows how long these ruins have been here? Who knows, the world that we're living in, who knows how long it has been destroyed? Or if it is destroyed, who knows if we're just out on the cusp? We don't know. But if you want to look at it from a world building lore perspective, our character has knowledge of making stone tools, and we know because we have foreknowledge as the player that there were advanced societies here in this world, more advanced than we are now. I don't know what I'm talking about. Please ignore me. All right, here we go. We need to make baskets. We need to make baskets so we can hold many a thing. Yes. Bring those here. Very good. All right. And with our inventory growing, now I think we're going to use... this structure as our base of operations for the time being. What do you think? Perhaps this one? I know I have to go through and get all those vessels. I'm really worried about the knights here. Yeah, I'm just gonna break all this stuff down. I'll take this and start digging. What is this? Conglomerate cobblestone insulating building phase. Very cool. This does go down further. I wonder if we can play archaeologist here and dig into the earth, or if this is all there is to see. I am unsure. But for now, we're going to create our little hole, a little hobbit hole for us to live within. Suppose that could be the exit. So again, I read a little bit, but without spoiling too much, like once I realized how complex some of these systems were, I tried to give us a fighting chance. But I read about the temporal storms. So every 10 to 20 days, it is semi-random. These storms occur in the world. And they are, which we already knew this, but they are the world breaking down, and this other realm coming through. So that cog in the middle is our temporal stability. And I don't know what that system totally entails. We'll figure it out. I'm sure it'll tell us. Um, after several deaths, of course. But high places apparently have more temporal stability. Going underground, it's like a sanity system, almost. These temporal storms, when they come, they can spawn monsters, so we have to be ready to fight when they do. And as luck would have it, the monsters they spawn are those who shall not be named, the nefarious drifters. I'm going to try to close this in here just a wee bit for my own comfort. It's not too bad. Hey, it's that's home right there. All right, and we're going to chop these up, then we got to go get food. We're going to get all of these fire logs. And we'll put a fire pit right... I suppose we'll put it... kind of want to go one over. We'll put it right here. No, put it right here. Nice. All right. Now, we're going to have to figure out some storage stuff. But for now, we don't have to worry too much about that. That can be a nighttime project. Ah, forage. What is this? Honeycomb. Really? Wow. Okay. Very nice, very nice. There's another one there. Farming. Oh, look at all these cattails. Very good. Wow, and that gave us enough cattails for us to make an additional basket. Oh, what is this? Coil of rope. Okay. Okay, so we're learning. Ah! Holy crap. Okay, well, we didn't need that. I didn't see that we had picked up a linen sack. We have all sorts of space now. So I kind of made a mistake. That's all right. Where are these others? Oh, we have gone too far. We have gone a bridge too far. There we go. I got a little turned around there. Yeah, this is our home, our dwelling. Right here. And then within this one, that's where we found the one ore. Or, not ore, but the one vessel. This goes up, but we cannot climb it. I don't think there would be any reason for us to. It's a staircase. Very cool. And what is this? Aged torch holder. Okay. So, yeah, this is definitely medieval farming vessel with lots of cabbage seeds. Very good. An ore? What kind of ore is this? Galena nuggets. Okay, that requires us to have a lot more tools than that which are currently available to us. That requires us to be about 3 ages forward. I'm not even sure if I know what Galena is off the top of my head, but we do have a home now, and we are once again hungry. So I'm going to try to do some light organizing here while we forage. And then, not while we forage. Now we're going to forage for berries and keep ourselves alive and sustained. Look at this. My God. What are these? Bitter bullet. Okay, so the names of the mushrooms are All right. So I said we were going to play it safe. I'm not always the... Ooh, fox. Wow. Now that could be a good meal. All right, if you have delicate sensibilities when it comes to hunting in the Stone Age, I suggest you look away because this is not going to be clean. All right. Very good. We have bushmeat, rawhide, and a lump of fat. And I believe there are fully simulated systems for tanning. Ooh, hold on. Need one of these and another knife. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, there are fully simulated systems for tanning as well as for creating pelt. Now, a pelt is a more simple... Okay, I missed that pretty bad. A pelt is not as advanced as using tannin. When you create a pelt, you use the fat of the animal. Oh, there we go. Yes, yes. Very good. That's good, because we can use those pelts and eventually make clothes. But as you noticed in that screen, the pelts and as well as the meat, everything is perishable. It has a set life expectancy, and if we cannot use it within that time, it'll go bad. We don't want our meat to go rotten. So it's going to be advantageous for us to be on top of it. Getting our fire started here. We're doing the best we can. There we go. I was going to say, I don't think we got it lit. Alright, so let's throw our bushmeat in here and let that cook. And while that cooks, let's try to figure out how to make pelt with fat. Ah, oiled hide. Curable. Okay, curing requires heat. Or drying, presumably. I don't know if there's a... Oh, okay. Ladders. Layer of sticks. Interesting. I have no idea what any of that means. Once this cooks, we'll figure out what it means. Alright, bushmeat does not seem to tide us over too long. Alright. Yeah, we're going to have to be eating a whole heck of a lot of bushmeat. We're going to have to kill bigger game to sustain ourselves because we're not getting a good amount nor good quality of meat. Let us try to cook these mushrooms. Perhaps we can combine ingredients down the road and make them into like soups or stews. Perhaps they'll... Alright. Yes, okay, we can cook these. It seems as if... No. Alright, so we're going to lose some hit points for eating them. But we're going to get satiety, which is good. Oh, okay, we shouldn't eat... We might have made a mistake. Alright. We'll remember that for future reference. When I said we're not going to be eating mushrooms, we shouldn't be eating mushrooms. We don't know. But now we know that bitter bullets are poisonous. And they will cause us great harm. Should probably try to sleep. And tomorrow, we do the same thing over again. We gotta find food. Gotta find food and veg. But tonight, we rest. Ah, yes. Good morning. Good morning, Starshine. So we got our firewood cooking good. We are starved. You can see at the bottom right, we're really struggling to keep our satiety up. Gold drop milk cap. Well, in the interest of starving to death, we're gonna have a bite. Oh, no. We should not be eating those. Okay, we did get some... Ah, Jesus, okay. Now, this might be a poor idea, but we're gonna risk it for the biscuit here. Oh, that's a nasty wolf. Okay. Huh. Okay, so... Wolves. Wolves are bad for your health. I figured sticking it several times over with a spear would be enough to put it in the dirt, but I don't think so. We died... God, we died pretty far away. There is a mountain range here. This is that golden peak we're seeing. Okay, no problem. We have to head off in this direction. I didn't know we had a full map like that. I would have been paying more attention to it. So, we can throw stones, but they are going to make it... I mean, it's going to be extremely difficult on us to continue on. I'll let those ripen. Those are cranberries back there. Throwing the stones, it doesn't do a ton of damage. I mean, we hit a raccoon fairly close. It was still moving. Should have tried a second throw, but we're going to lose a lot of these small creatures in this grass. It is just far too dense. But about vintage story here. Minecraft scratched this itch, and it's a survival itch, but you know, Minecraft feels very populated. The world itself does. And even though you're a stranger in that world, even though you're a stranger in that world, you're never truly alone. Field mushroom. Are these edible, or are these going to kill us? Yeah, these are okay to eat. Alright, thankfully that tells us. And we're going to have a bite to eat here. Very good. Oh, what was I getting at? Yeah, Minecraft, the world feels alive. Very much so alive. There is no denying that. This world does not feel so alive. Like, it feels alive in the sense of the animals, but I feel very much so like the only human here. And finding evidence of civilizations that have passed does not make that better, you know? Yeah, it definitely doesn't do anything for this feeling of isolation. Which is, it's kind of a peaceful feeling, but there's also, you know, most definitely a great threat out here, right? Something looming in the air, something foreboding. This is a beautiful world. Look at that. My God. Isn't that incredible? So I'd say our fires probably all but burn up. I'm gonna harvest berries. We'll go get to our corpse here momentarily when we have returned to our valley, it seems. We'll go return to our corpse and maybe try to fight that wolf again, which is not the wisest course of action, but it's already damaged. So if we damage it a little bit more and we kill said wolf, we should have a medium fur, right? Or I don't know the sizes of things in this game. Should be coming up on our desk site, right? I felt like we were a lot closer than we were. Perhaps we weren't. Ah, yes, here we were. Oh my God, what is that? Oh, for the love of God, what are you? A shiver. Oh my God. Okay. What is that? What can I what am I gonna harvest from this thing? What is this? Flax fibers. Okay. Yeah, we'll take the flax fibers. What the heck is that? Jeez Louise. Okay, it seems like are there more of those? There's our baskets. Okay, those are just little rabbits. The wolf we attacked did bleed out from its injuries. Or... Oh my God. What happened here? Okay. Okay, something... I'm trying to wrap I'm trying to give you cohesive sentences. I'm very confused. So, the creatures here are inherently hostile. There is no doubt about that whatsoever. The shiver looked like some type of insectoid creature, but it gave us flax fibers when we killed it. I'm not quite sure what I make of that. I really don't know what to make of that. And then, on the other hand, you've got something that is spitting at us. What it's spitting at us is hard to tell. It's hard telling. We are not alone here in this world, and we need storage. Above all else right now, we've got food. Could definitely use storage. I'm going to have to look up a tutorial here. I'm sorry. Alright, so I'm sorry if this is a little disjointed and all over the place. I'm doing my best here. We have to go get some reeds. And we're going to use the reeds to make chests for the time being. And those are going to be our early storage options. And on top of all this, we're going to do our best to avoid whatever nightmare creatures we found out in the forest. It is a beautiful and scary world. Much like I imagine, the first Homo sapiens endured. I imagine the world was a very, very scary place. I imagine that's what the first Homo sapiens felt when encountering things like wolves for the first time or bear. And then the wonder that they felt when they looked up at the stars. Looked up at the stars for the first time. What an incredible feeling that must have been. But also the terror, the blackness of the night. How everything was so new and everything. Not everything had a place. Or everything had a place in a hierarchy that no one understood. You just fit. I don't know what I'm talking about. There's not a lot of games, nor a lot of media that really delve into the sense, or delve into primal terror. Food, water, shelter, the unknown. I'm gonna coin that. I'm sure that already exists, the phrase primal terror. But yeah, what a horrific world. Alright, so back here, I have a little bit of chow. Move back to our home. How is this leather doing? We didn't get any fat off of, I just realized this. Yeah, we didn't get any fat off of the wolf we killed. That's all right. We're gonna make these baskets, and then we'll have to go ahead and get fat a different way. Or these chests, excuse me. Is that not how you do this? Does it need more? Ah, yes, okay. So 3. I made just enough. Very good. We'll take this. I guess we'll... Where do we want to store things? Let's store things here. Put one there. Put one there. Perfect. Alright. That holds... not too many, but it holds a couple of items, which is good. And I like that you can have multiple menus open. Look at this. Oh, wow. That is most definitely a quality of life improvement. Sorry, I'm having to stop and read things. I'm trying to figure out my place in the world here. We are very much so just another part of the food chain, and that is such a horrifying realization. We've got most of this cleaned up. Throw this up here. We're gonna have to make another spear. So we'll have to go out and find some flint before the look at that. How lucky. We need a... Yeah, there we go. Go over here and do some napping. Let's do a spearhead. Very good. I like that I do like that the crafting is diegetic like this, existing in our world. And I like that you have to manually do the action. I think that's a lot of fun. What else did we need to do? What else do we need to do right now? We need fat. We definitely need fat. I'm going to move. I know there was a raccoon back there. But we're going to move in this direction and see what we can see. Perhaps we'll find something. Another animal, perhaps a larger animal. An herbivore would be nice. I really don't want to run into carnivore. What is that? Oh my god. Do you see that? What in God's name is that thing? It's... Jeez Louise. What did it fire? Is it firing? It looks like it's firing bone, almost. Like, that looks like a spine. Although they are definitely projectiles that are going to harm us. Oh my god. Okay, they do insane amounts of damage. It's called a bowtorn. What a neat creature. I'm going to do violence upon them. It only takes a couple hits to put them down, and they don't like being pressed. So that's exactly what we're going to do, is press them. Oh my god. I can't tell what they are even looking at them. What is this, a bone arrow? Okay. See, looking at this, what do you see when you look at this thing, you know? It looks almost like an insect, but it's got like the humanoid ribs splayed very far out from its body. I don't know, it's like a amalgamation of things. Part of it's... Oh, I'm sorry. Little wolf, I did kill your papa. No, I don't like doing that, but definitely don't want that wolf coming back as an adult and remembering me. Alright, no fat yet. We'll find it eventually. Just kind of hoping that pup had it on it. I wonder if these storms, the presence of these storms, which makes sense and is most likely the source of the apocalypse, right? Being the name of the game and all. But I wonder if through these storms, through this apocalypse, if access to whatever side of the world that is, whatever dimension or whatever is bleeding through, if that is what is causing the corruption of the individuals, or if these weren't individuals at all, what if they are coming through a portal? Oh my god, okay. So, yes, we gotta go. We gotta go, and we gotta go now. We definitely don't have the strength right now to be fighting another one of those. Are those mushrooms growing off? Chicken of the woods, holy cow. Yep, I'll take that. Yeah, don't mind me. I'm gonna have a bite. Chicken of the woods is delicious. And you can find it pretty commonly. I hope. Oh, look at that. Yes. My bloodlust is great. I've lost the rabbits again. So there seems to be some type of rift in our time-space continuum, in the fabric of our reality over yonder. That is presently none of my concern. And I'm not going to allow that to affect me. I'm gonna keep the firewood on the fire. And we're gonna start cooking up some bush meat. We gotta get some fat tomorrow. We also gotta find some more flint and go out and find flint. Oh man, there is so much going on. We've gotten into a good survival loop here, which is phenomenal, and that's very good to know. It's very good to have some basis on what you're doing and what your next steps are. We know that we are trying to advance our technology, right? In order to do that, there are several steps. This could take a very long time in game. Thankfully for us, we do respawn. This is not a permadeath thing. Until we're gonna... Oh, look at these little coal bits. Very cool. Very cool. But, you know, I mean, heck, look at this native copper. We're gonna take this and store it. We also need more cattails. We're gonna... See, one thing is leading to another, which is great. In survival games, you always want things to build on each other, right? This area we're in has some very cool stuff. Very cool stuff here. So for the time being... Yeah, for the time being here, we're going to want to collect absolutely everything that's going to help us later. Like, not crazy advanced stuff, you know, we're not going to be mining ore or anything for quite some time. But cattails, we can pick up cattails because we need storage, you know. These native copper bits, eventually we'll be able to move up into bronze and whatnot, which is going to require us to learn how to work with clay. And I read briefly, very briefly, about those systems, and I'm going to have to use the systems in the game, or the tutorials in the game, to get us moving along there. But I read that just like the napping and everything, the molding and the casting can be done just the same by putting physical pieces into molds and whatnot. That's one of the big claims to fame about this game. What was I saying? There is something. Sorry, what I was saying was there are building materials you can make. Wattle and daub being one of them, which I thought was really cool. And you actually have to put the daub on the wattle. I can't remember how you make that. I'm going to have to look that up. But instead of just having a mud house, we can have a wattle and daub house and hatched roofs and all sorts of cool stuff. So this is going to be a long-running series, I do believe. I think it fits in with the channel just fine, and I'm gonna keep this one around. I felt kind of feel goofy because I thought this was a new survival game. I thought this was a new thing, and I found out it's, you know, nearly a decade old, and that blows my mind. I'm just now getting around to it, so I am going to play the brakes off this, though. This seems like it's going to be fun. Now, we'll see if we're still, you know, having high hopes and keeping that energy after our first temporal storm. But for the time being, living like one of the first Homo sapiens, it's going to be a lot of fun. I like survival games that make you survive, you know, and you don't have to worry about non-existent threats that you wouldn't have in these environments. And a lot of games that brand themselves as survival games don't give you the tools to self-sustain and survive, which is what survival is all about. Eating canned food and drinking bottled water is not surviving, I don't even know what game I'm referencing when I say that. But, I don't want my survival game to actually just be a PvP shooter, a PvP VE shooter, if that makes sense. I want my survival game to preferably have single player functionality, where I don't run into other people whatsoever, and I want a hardcore survival experience. Oh, I see there. It's a rift. Have I just been walking by this whole time, or do those like change and... Oh god, I hate the sound of that. Do those move around, or am I just really, really daft? Nice. Need some bushmeat. Back here at our little shack, and I'm gonna check some tutorials quickly. Okay. All right. We are back here once again, and we've got some work ahead of us. In order to create wattle and daub, we need soil, we need sand, and we need a ton of sticks. So we're going to go fell several trees. We're also going to nap, because here we're going to need another axe. Everything is a process. You got to take things one at a time. And this is one of those processes where it's like, oh, I want to go, in Minecraft, and the comparison is just there. That's just how it is. But, oh, I want to do this. I'm going to hop on the crafting bench. Like, I'm going on an expedition. I'm going to hop on the crafting bench and, throw some items together loosely, and be on my way. But here I'm clicking individual tiles in order to... Oh, God. Can I use coal? No, I can't. All right, there we go. But here I'm clicking the individual tiles to, physically nab the tool head out. Everything is a process. Everything takes time. We need to go chop down trees. Guess we could chop down our own trees first, huh? Got some maple here. I wonder if we throw the firewood back into the crafting menu with the axe, if we'll get sticks, or if sticks just have to be found naturally in the world. I'm unsure. I have to find that out. I love that you can chop one block and the tree will fall as it would in real life. Something I dreaded about Minecraft was having to chop down tall trees, because if I leave any tree behind, it's going to bother me immensely. One more tree down. Very good, very good. Now let's see if we take the firewood here and put the axe in. Does that do anything? No. Alright, what if we take... Well, that doesn't make any sense. What if we take the knife instead and put the firewood in? How about sticks and knife? No. Okay. How about logs and knife? Clubs. Okay. Okay. Perhaps we go back to our house and research. This little rabbit is getting a little close for my liking. It's really tempting fate here. It is fast. It is fast. It's running towards the enemy. We don't want to do that. We definitely don't want to fight that war right now. Oh, that's a... My God. Okay. That's alright. So, wolves are going to be a major threat to our health. If we hear that growl, we're just going to have to stand and fight and hope we get lucky. It doesn't seem like we can really push them back physically. Even with the spear attack, it seems like they can kind of cancel, or not cancel, but block out our animation. I also read that nighttime gets significantly more dangerous than the daytime. I imagined that would be so. It seems like, nighttime is when the predators start coming out to hunt, but perhaps it's not just predators we're used to that come out at night. Let's see if we can get up here. Oh, for God's sakes. We're going to go around. You're probably not going to see much of this. Or perhaps you'll see it all. I don't know. I never really know, what's going to be shown in a video until I get to editing. Sometimes stuff, works and I have all the time in the world to show certain things or show off things. Like Vostok is one that's fresh in my mind. That's a good example. Is I don't have to do. I do a good amount of cutting. Don't get me wrong, but a lot of the cutting, excuse me, those chickens distracted me. A lot of the cutting isn't as major as you'd think it is. I might be cutting out when I'm taking forever and like sorting through stuff at the house or the cabin, I'm definitely going to cut a significant portion of that so you don't have to see it. But on the other hand, there's a lot of stuff that stays in because I'm talking and like what I'm saying makes it more interesting. If there's good commentary behind a boring action, it's a lot more enjoyable to watch. And that's from my own experience, I'm not YouTuber wise. I have I don't want to say a plain personality, but I'm very to the point, matter of fact. I like to think. I like to watch YouTube when I'm falling asleep. So, if you're like that, I hope you can fall asleep to these videos. Oh man, this wolf is going to be a problem, isn't it? Okay. No, you do not get to run away. You don't get to run away. And he sure is fast. And difficult to see. Unfortunate. Unfortunately, it is extremely dark. Extremely dark. So we'll remember this little outcropping here. I don't know if our things from our last death are still available to us. You died over here, right? Does it show us multiple deaths? I'd say not. Well, let us sleep. And we'll worry about that shortly. Worry about that after we wake up. Alright, so our last death was right here. Prior to that, it would have had to have been out this way. In the meantime, we're also going to look for berries and whatnot. Oh, that's a bear. Interesting. Well, my dear friends, I am going to stop the recording here. And I'm going to put this out as a standalone edition. I'm going to turn this into a series, but next time I come back, I'm going to have a bit of a better handle on the game. Perhaps not totally, but what I think I'm going to do is when we respawn, we're going to set up a base of operations closer to our reemergence point, and I'm also going to figure out whether or not we have the ability to fix our reemergence point. If you like this video, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. More content to come. As always, got all sorts of stuff in the works. Something for everybody, most definitely. That's all I got for you for today. I hope you enjoyed. Remember to mind the gap, stalkers. And I'll see you shortly. We won't get mauled by a bear next time. We won't be doing that. Have a good one.